one city's pizza crust could help grow another city's garden? And what if the world's largest economy is about to lose its power to protect us from climate chaos? And what happens when modern convenience quietly erases transparency? All of this in just the past few weeks. Let's break down the biggest environmental wins, setbacks, and crises that every business leader, policymaker, and citizen needs to know right now. Welcome back to Environmental News, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm your host, 𝒂𝒐𝒂𝒏𝒐, aka the Texas Trash Talker. I'm founder and CEO of Zero Waste Strategies. I'm glad you're here for episode 12. We're diving into the environmental stories that really matter most and that demand our attention and action every single day. So each week we showcase uplifting breakthroughs under the good. We spotlight urgent risks under the bad, and we sound the alarm on violations that we as environmental stewards just can't tolerate under the ugly. Whether tuning in for news that inspires hope or spurs outrage, today's episode has all of it. Plus, clear steps for how you can make a real difference. First up, a story that's literally turning a city's trash into treasure. New York City's latest food waste initiative is making waves, and here's why that matters. So, as of this month, New York City has taken food waste composting to an unprecedented scale. Under new city policy, millions of pounds of food scraps, so think pizza, fruit peels, and restaurant leftovers, are collected every week from homes and businesses. They're transported to local composting centers and transformed into what gardeners and farmers call black gold, nutrient-rich compost that boosts soil health, supports urban farms, and revitalizes city parks. So, why is this such a big deal? Here's the context. For decades, food waste has been NYC's largest single component of landfill trash, producing methane, a greenhouse gas 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide in the short term. Previous pilot programs showed promise but lacked scale and reach. It wasn't until 2024 that major public investment and clear policy mandates arrived, resulting in today's citywide system. And the results? New data show landfill-bound garbage is dropping by thousands of tons per month. Methane emissions are down, and local gardens and city parks are thriving with new soil. Plus, NYC has created a replicable model for zero waste initiatives nationwide. But progress in one area often shadows new challenges in another. While New York celebrates composting success, federal moves threaten to weaken air quality protection nationwide. On September 8th, the EPA issued new guidance streamlining Clean Air Act permits for new infrastructure, including fossil fuel power plants and large-scale data centers. This means certain construction, such as pouring concrete pads and core site work, can begin before full air quality assessments are performed. So why does this matter? Since the late 1970s, the new source review is a process that has ensured industrial sites clear rigorous air pollution checks before construction. It's a core protection, especially for communities near large emitting facilities. The reason for this change? To accelerate data center and manufacturing growth, and, as leadership claims, to help make the US the AI capital of the world. But critics from environmental groups to local leaders say the move shortcuts the regulatory process, especially as the number of high polluting projects is rapidly rising. Many worry that it opens the door to increased health risks for vulnerable communities and delayed accountability for major emitters. This reform is part of a broader deregulatory trend that comes at a time when industrial pollution is already a major health concern. And now for our ugly category. This one could shape our environmental future more than any other news this year. The EPA Foundational Endangerment Finding, which underpins the federal government's legal authority to regulate greenhouse gases, is under direct attack. Over the last 2 months, the administration has moved formally to rescind this finding after leveraging a controversial climate panel and draft report that downplayed the risks of global warming. The disbanding of that panel on September 10th hasn't slowed the EPA's repeal process. Here's why it's so critical. The endangerment finding was established after a landmark 2007 Supreme Court decision and decades of scientific research. For 16 years, it's been the legal backbone of rules limiting carbon and methane from cars, power plants, and industry. Revoking it could erase the government's ability to act on climate at the national scale, just as international climate talks demand stronger American leadership. The scientific community and legal experts warn of global repercussions if the US abdicates its responsibility now. So these aren't distant stories, guys. This is affecting all of us, and how we respond now will shape the future landscape for decades. So here are some practical takeaway steps that you can enact. No one can really tackle these challenges alone, but everyone has agency. Everyone has an impact. And here are three concrete steps that you can take now. So, number one is supporting local composting and zero waste programs. Ask your city officials how they're tackling organics like food waste, or volunteer at community compost sites. If you're a business leader, look for ways to reduce food waste and invest in circular economy practices. Number two, demand transparency and accountability in permitting. Attend or write comments for local zoning and permitting meetings at your local level if new industrial or tech facilities are proposed. You got to advocate for full environmental reviews before any work starts. And three, make your voice heard on national climate authorities. Submit public comments to the EPA, contact your national representatives in Congress and the Senate, and urge business peers to defend science based policy and the legal infrastructure that enables climate action effectively. The future of emissions control in the US is being decided right now. So, with every voice amplified and every step forward, it counts. That's the power of informed and engaged stewardship. So, let's close out with a final word of encouragement. As these stories show, environmental progress is neither inevitable nor safe. It's won every single day through persistent advocacy, smart policy, and empowered communities. Whether you're encouraged by compost or alarmed by regulatory rollbacks, know that change depends on what we do next. So stay determined, stay engaged, and let's keep fighting the good fight for the just and sustainable future. Thanks for joining Environmental News, the good, the bad, the ugly. Until next week, be bold, be hopeful, and be a steward for the future that we all share.